one and only Mac Engel from the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Mac, thanks for being here. And Jonah Javad, our very own, joins us from his casa tonight. So, guys, thanks so much for being on the show. Man, do we ever have a lot to get into. And I want to start with both of your reactions. And since you're our guest, Mac, I'd love for you to go first. When did you realize the Cowboys were not ready to play football at noon today?
Kickoff. It's the strangest thing. Joe, it was like they believed their own headlines after a loss. And seriously, it's like the reaction from that game in Philadelphia last Thursday was such that I think everybody involved thought, oh, we're a pretty good team. We came out ahead of this pretty good. And they really weren't ready to play a New York team that I think everybody would agree really isn't that good. And in the process, they made Russell Wilson look like he was 10 years younger and in his heyday was Seattle. So they were not ready to play at all. Now, to their credit, they caught up. But when you asked me that question, when did it dawn on me they weren't ready? I don't think they were ready until halftime.
Yeah, I mean, the offense had 11 yards through 6 plays, 2 3-and-outs. And you're right. I mean, it was Chef Russ cooking all over the place. Jonah, what'd you think?
Yeah, he looked like Mr. Unlimited. I mean, he threw for an unlimited number of yards. Through 8 quarters and overtime of the Cowboys season, I have absolutely no idea what this team is. I just from quarter to quarter, they have looked so different. 1 second, the defense looks tremendous. 1 second, the offense looks tremendous, but none of it seems to work in unison. So I am curious, maybe by week 5, 6, when that identity starts to establish itself, what this Cowboys 2025 iteration actually looks like. But frankly, through 2 games, I have absolutely no clue.
I will throw one point of order here, and I want to make this perfectly clear because I've been saying this for years now, since they changed the CBA, with the way they prepare for these seasons, with the way they go about training camp. They're not ready to play tackle football. The only way you get ready to play tackle football is by playing tackle football. And now, especially with the Cowboys, who are one of those teams who like to keep all of their frontline players in bubble wrap in the preseason, they don't have an opportunity to get ready to play football. And it's masked a little bit because you've been practicing all training camp what you're going to do in game 1 offensively. And especially with the Cowboys who practice it and they didn't let it out. And, you know, the Eagles had no clue what they were going to do. So I think part of that was masked. But when you had 1 week to prepare for a game, it was pretty obvious that they weren't ready to play. And how inept are the Giants? Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
My follow-up, though, to all of this is there any credence to, sure, you weren't ready to play, but in a shootout against a potentially bad team like we all assume the Giants are, they still made enough plays to win. And I know we're going to dog on them a lot. I know Jonah and I definitely did earlier when we did our post-game show and kind of breaking the whole thing down and really pointing out the holes on like a Giants team that's shooting itself on the foot is scoring 37 points on your defense. That's not good, period. And yet, the energy in the locker room, there is something to be said for Brian Schottenheimer getting these guys to at least get the wheels turning at some point in this game. Is there any momentum, Mac, that they can take from this on just a resilience perspective, or is it all just kind of lost in a wash?
No, I think you have to take it. You won. You're 500. You're 1-1 after 2 weeks, which, like you said, is what everybody expected. And however ugly it might have been, I mean, you made enough plays to win a division game. So that's good. And you beat a division game at home, which is what you have to win. First thing you got to do is win your division. So at least they did that. I do think there are issues all over the place. But if you can get a win despite those issues, then at least you have to celebrate that part of it while looking realistically, pragmatically at the problems that were all over the place that put you in a position to have to win that thing with bomb field goals at the end of regulation and at the end of overtime. What Brandon Aubrey did today was historic. The Cowboys needed history in order to win today's game, but they won it, so you got to take it.
Yeah, let me jump in there on the Brandon Aubrey thing since I set it up on the top of the show. Is there any excuse, Jonah, that this team should not be able, at least at home in indoor conditions, should not be able to score at least 3 points every drive? You're talking 15 to 20 yards to get Brandon Aubrey in field goal range at this point. Why is there a limit on the point total, or at least scoring on every possession? What's the issue with this?
Because they're not able to get a first down
Exactly.
all the time. And they struggle to convert on third down sometimes. Like when the offense sputters, it's really gross. And I mean, it's not like they're able to matriculate it 20, 25 yards and then it stalls out. I mean, it's just like a 3-and-out type of sputter. So I'm curious, kind of as the offense comes along, maybe we start to see that. Can they at least get the ball to midfield 40-yard line, where you should be coming away with 3 yards every time? And Andrew, I realize that you are the gentleman on this show who will advocate that they just kick 67-yard field goals every possession.
Every time.
If you multiply it over enough possessions, that they should win every game. And you know what? I might come around to that theory if they keep going 3-and-out.
Jonah, when I tell you we were asking first of all, Ferguson to drop the ball right before halftime, just so we get a shot at the 67-yard record-setting field goal. But multiple times, it's just like, if there's nothing else that happens this season, get him the record. Let him get a shot at 70. Let him see if he can do this, because he keeps bombing these things. These things are good from 10 yards further than where he's set up. And if you see the kick, it's a little angled off to the side, so you could make an argument it might be a little bit mishit, and it's still good by an extra 10.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous what he's doing now. That the 64-yarder would have easily been good from 70, maybe 71 or 2. He has that power and he has that ability. But I do want to bring it back to the high wire act that offense had to pull off. It was like it was a trapeze act, a high wire act. It was all of it in one, because there were so many times when they could not fail, and they did not. And I do think that they can grab a positive out of that. There were so many times when Dak Prescott had to make decisions and make plays to keep this game just alive. And anytime you can go down and get 3, even when you've got Gus the kicking mule in Brandon Aubrey, when you can get 3 with only 25 seconds left in a ball game, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, Andrew.
Brandon the kicking wildcat.
No.
The kicking wildcat.
Okay.
All right. Come on. Bring it back.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Let me offer this. If the Cowboys have, like, let's say, a rookie quarterback or a quarterback in year 2, I don't think they win that game. I think part of it is that resolve and the resilience. I mean, Dak Prescott is like probably the most polarizing quarterback in Cowboys history for the wrong reason, in my estimation. But statistically and through 2 games this year, he has been really, really good. And he made some throws in crunch time in the fourth quarter and in overtime that were on the money, where only his receiver could get it. And I think he needs to get a lot of credit in this victory, not just Brandon Aubrey, because Dak made some key throws down the stretch to win them this game.
No doubt. All right, we got to take a quick break here. By the way, Gus the Kicking Mule is an old Disney film. Google it if you don't know it. It's worth a look. And it's certainly worth a look to stay with us. Up next, we got plenty more on that Cowboys thrilling overtime win. Keep it here, folks. It's the ultimate Dallas sports show.
Dak Prescott has shown a lot in these first couple games. I think, again, as he kind of mentioned, he's a hot rod for criticism on every level, but you can't critique the way he's played, at least in the first and second half. And even in some of the drop balls that CD had, those were on the money. He has been everything you could want from a quarterback in these first couple games. What should we take away from at least his performance and at least where this offense can go if he maintains this?
If everyone played at Dak Prescott's level, the Cowboys would be playing a lot better football. I mean, we know about all the drops in the first game, but then, listen, I charted the drops in this one. Jake Ferguson had 2, Jalen Tolbert had 1, and CD had another one. I mean, Dak is playing at a great level. As CD said on Thursday, Dak's balling, right? He's hooping. He's getting it done. He's doing everything you want your quarterback to do right now. And that means good things for this team, because unfortunately, when you look at that defense, you feel like the Cowboys are going to have to score 30 a game to try and continue winning.
Yeah, Mac, is 52 passes per game sustainable over a 17-game season?
Sure, they'll lose, but if you want to, I guess if you want him to throw the ball that much, no, that's the surprising part about it. If you go back and look at him historically, if he throws it more than 40 times a game, the Cowboys lose. Now, most quarterbacks do, most teams do, because that means you're playing from behind and blah, blah, blah. But he's played really, really well. But if this defense doesn't figure out its issues on the back end, the secondary was so bad today, and they're playing zone, and guys are running free all the time. That can't happen. They're not getting any real pressure with 4 guys And I know they signed Jadeveon Clowney today. Guys, that's not an answer to their pass rushing problems. They've got to get pressure from Marshawn Nealon, who played really well in week 1, but none of those guys were particularly good that today, and their linebackers weren't very good at all. So there are a lot of issues, obviously, defensively. But look, all the resources and all the money on this team, they're on the offensive side of the ball. So that's what this team's identity is going to have to be if they're going to win 10, 11, 12 games and get to the playoffs, which I don't know if they're good enough to do that anyways. But we knew this was going to be a problem going in, because if you look at where all the money's spent, it's all on offense. So that's going to have to be this team's bread and butter.
You brought up a good point in terms of that defense, Mac, and it's getting pressure, especially when you only rush 4, which is what defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus loves to do. Unfortunately, and especially with the way they played today, they didn't come anywhere close to getting real effective pressure when they only brought 4. Now, when he tricked it up and he'd bring 5 or 6, yeah, they were able to pull it off. But it's going to be really difficult. Listen, we're not going to talk every week about Micah, but you have to bring it up. They don't have that one guy that defenses have to plan against, right? And so it makes it harder for the games to work. It makes it harder for you to scheme that pressure. Eberflus and Stephen Jones said, hey, we could scheme pressure in the pass game better than we can with run fits. But how much did we see it today? Not enough, not a lot.
Jonah, do you want to go on your Micah rant that you did earlier today?
I would love to. Thank you for coming to me, Andrew. Yeah, as I mentioned during our postgame show on WFA Plus, check it out. Micah is missed in moments where the Cowboys need to close out games. Those are the moments where superstars on defense, pass rushing superstars, make the game-ending plays. And for all this talk about Dak Prescott on a 13, now 14-game win streak against the Giants when he plays them, very impressive. You know who was undefeated against the Giants? Micah Parsons. He was 8-0 against the Giants. He had 4.5 sacks. And if memory serves, none of those games were particularly close. Maybe that would have been different had he been on the field. Maybe this game doesn't get all the way to overtime. But it just felt like there were a lot of moments where who's going to make a play, who's going to get to Russ, who's going to shake him off his block, make him throw a bad throw. And Micah would always be the guy to do it. And so, yeah, they're really missing him. And if you're going to rush 4, you're not the Eagles. You're not the Eagles in the Super Bowl. I don't care if they did it and they had success. You don't have the personnel to do it, and you certainly don't have the scheme just yet. So work in progress, but, got the W, and that's all you can ask for, I suppose, in week 2.
No doubt. You can ask for a little improvement, though, on that defense, especially when you're playing zone defense. It's supposed to be the easiest defense to play. Let's see if they can get the schematics of it down so that they can play a lot better.